What I think the future means is us starting to think about that digital world, how that converges now with everything that we've known traditionally, and what that means for how we need to adapt some of our practices, and in some ways let go. Because what this does is take some of the control that we're very used to having out of our own hands, and we need to start to find ways of being comfortable with that and actually exploiting that. And I look at the progress we've made in 2 years, it's been fairly significant. And across the public sector, I would argue that the police are probably the lead agency in terms of using social media from my experience, in terms of across a broad range of activity and using more than one engagement channel. And I think in recognition of that, what we did a few weeks ago was hold what we called a strategic visioning event. We held it at Google's headquarters. We had someone from Google there to talk through what their thinking was in terms of the future of social networking, the future of digital, and that was really interesting. And what we did was we had a few strategic leaders there, some who were interested, some who were supportive, and some who I think had to be convinced that this was actually the right direction to go in. And we had again it was a morning, a bit of a blast, but what we got from that I think was real buy-in to we can't ignore the growth and the way that the digital world now is becoming, as I said earlier, that convergence now just with everyday business. So recognising what that means for policing and broadening that out from focusing on engagement but looking across the broad spectrum of everything that we do. What will come from that will be a paper that goes to ACPO Cabinet, which is the decision-making body of ACPO, to really get buy-in at a very strategic level from chiefs to say, we would ask them to endorse the view that forces should have a position on social media. It should be encouraged within forces. We should have a capability, because my argument is people now have an expectation of choice, of how they want to send and receive, how they want to engage, and if we're not giving people that choice, then I think as a public service we are not fulfilling our obligations. So hopefully what will come from that paper will be a clearer position strategically on buy-in across the board. Now that's not to say that it certainly doesn't give me the mandate to go and say you will, but what it does do I think is give us a position at the senior level to say be aware of the advantages, the disadvantages, the risks of using and not using social media, and when you're fully aware of these risks then you make an informed choice as to what your position will be for your force. But I think the vast majority, knowing the full facts, would see the advantages of at least having some capability around about social media.